Pythagoras Theorem, finding the hypotenuse. So let's have a recap of Pythagoras' theorem. So Pythagoras' theorem states that in any right-angled triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides. So here we have a triangle and c squared, so the area of this square is equal to the area of this square plus this square if this is a right angled triangle. Now, as mentioned in the previous clip, you don't necessarily have to always draw squares on the sides of the triangle. Just work out whatever the length of C is, you square it. Then whatever the length of A is, you square it. Then the length of B is also squared, and then you add the A squared plus B squared together to check if it equals C squared. And if it does, it is a right angled triangle. Now, Pythagoras' theorem is very useful because you can use it to find missing sides. And in this clip, we're going to look at finding the missing hypotenuse, which is the longest side opposite the right angle. So let's have a look at an example. So we have a right angled triangle and we have a missing side x. Now, as you can see, this is the hypotenuse because it's opposite the right angle. Pythagoras' theorem states that this side squared is equal to these two sides squared added together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label my sides. So we have B and A. These are my two smaller sides. And it doesn't matter which one is A and which one is B. And then my longest side opposite the right angle will always be C. And using Pythagoras' theorem formula, I'm going to substitute in my values. So remember, this is the missing side, so we're trying to find C. So C is x, so let's put down x squared, and that equals the other two sides squared added together, so that will be 6 squared plus 8 squared. So x squared equals 6 squared is 36 and 8 squared is 64. So when we add these two together, we get 100. Now 100 is my answer for x squared, but I don't want x squared, I just want x. So x squared is 100. To find x, I simply take the square root of 100. And the square root of 100 is, of course, 10. And my units are meters. So the answer for the longest side in this right angle triangle is 10 meters. So let's have a look at another example. Again, we have the missing side, which is the longest side, the hypotenuse, opposite the right angle. So let's label our sides first. So of course this is C, always the longest side. And then the other two sides, smaller sides, are A and B. So substitute into the formula. So C is our unknown x, and that is equal to 3 squared, and B is 5 squared, which gives us x squared is 9 plus 25. Adding them together gives us 34. So x is the square root of 34. Putting that into the calculator, that gives us an answer of 5.83 centimeters to 3 significant figures. Here are a few for you to try. Find the missing side x. Pause the video and have a go. How did you get on? Here are the answers. If you answered any incorrectly, have a look back through the video and then have another go.